And now for a cartoon to show how strange statistics can be sometimes. Let's visit the inhabitants of Lambchester and Sheepton. So we're going to see from this little sort of cartoon story how strange statistics can be, even for very, very simple situations. So welcome to these two towns. We have Lambchester, which has 1,000 people, but they're mainly young, 900 young people, 100 old people. And then Sheepton, a neighbouring town, which is mainly old, 1,000 people, but 100 young people and 900 old people. So the population structures in these two towns are sort of opposite of each other. Now you don't want to live in Lambchester because, let's say, they have something terrible in the water, and actually the mortality rate for both young and for old people is double what it would be in Sheepton. So the mortality rate for young people in Lambchester is 2%, whereas it's only 1% in Sheepton. And the mortality rate for old people in Lambchester is 20%, double what it is in Sheepton. So whether you're young or old, you don't want to live in Lambchester, because you have double the risk of death. However, if we were to calculate the total mortality rates for these two towns, you might have a different impression. So let's see, in Lambchester, the number of deaths in a year would be 2% of the number of young people, so 2% of 900, and 20% of the old people, 20% of 100. So we have 18 deaths in the young population, 20 deaths in the old population, leading to 38 in total. So the crude mortality rate is the number of deaths divided by the population, and that would be 38 divided by 1,000, which we could say is 3.8%. Now in Sheepton, the number of deaths would be 1% of the young population, 1% of 100, and then 10% of the old population. But you see we have quite a large old population there, 10% of 900, which is 1 plus 90 is 91. So the total mortality rate in Sheepton is 91 divided by 1,000 is 9.1%. So if you only knew the total mortality rates for Lambchester and Sheepton, you would avoid Sheepton like the plague and want to live in Lambchester, because it appears that the mortality there is a third of Sheepton. However, that is really just an illusion that comes from the fact that the total mortality rate is almost meaningless. In each of the two age groups, the mortality rate in Lambchester is double that of Sheepton, and you definitely want to live in Sheepton in terms of mortality. So a little cartoon that shows you how crazy statistics can be and why those total figures for population and mortality are actually not very meaningful. We need to dig deeper and look at age groups. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you in the next video.